A very good morning to you, Percy. I know you woke up bright and early, a little disappointed that you're not in your rugby gear, but how are the Bulls looking? Are they still looking good?
Well, good morning, I'm Nandi. I can tell you we're live here from the capital city at Loftus Versveld, the home of the Blue Bulls Rugby Union, and also a venue that is shared by the now 10-time Premier Soccer League champions, Mamelodi Sundowns. But today we're focusing on all matters rugby, and like you rightfully said, this is the venue of a very successful union, the Blue Bulls Rugby Union. But Nandi, I must first start off with the big story of the day. News coming out from down under, from Sanzar, announcing that the Rugby Championship will happen later this year from the 7th of November until the 12th of December. And obviously, all the nations, participating nations, will take part. They also mentioned that South Africa will take part in this Rugby Championship. Their participation must still be confirmed, though. Strangely enough, the Rugby Championship will take place in Australia and not in New Zealand as expected. But I'm pleased to mention I'm joined by ENSA Sports Editor Vata Ngumbeni to just help me analyze this breaking news. Vata, nice having you. Just briefly your thoughts on that breaking news this morning.
I think, Percy, it's coming off left field, to be honest with you. I'd expected New Zealand and Australia to be involved in the Percival Cup because their teams have been playing, super happy, obviously, in behind closed doors and so on. In New Zealand, they played, with the fans there until their last game because there's an outbreak again of COVID-19. There's a big concern whether the Springboks will be battle ready for the tournament. First of all, there needs to be a domestic competition, organized within the next month to get those players to some sort of match fitness. But then again, I think they might be at a disadvantage because they will have to travel to Australia, and once they get there, they'll get into that bio bubble. And being in that bio bubble means, firstly, they have to be quarantined for between 7 days to 2 weeks. And again, that disadvantages them because in that time, as much as you're able to train, you won't be able to play. And we know in a game like rugby, you need those matches, in order for you to be ready for a tournament as grueling, and as demanding as the Rugby Championship.
And while we here in South Africa are still waiting from SA Rugby for the confirmation of our date of our local competition, New Zealand's new All Black coach Ian Foster have already announced his All Black squad, though. You just mentioned the fact that we might be a bit of at a disadvantage. Do you think we'll be able to catch up ahead of that Rugby Championship?
And that's going to be the big question. Jacques Dinaba is going to be new in the job as Springbok head coach. Obviously, the last time our players played, any form of rugby would have been in March, and so they've been on this very, very, very long break. So I think South Africa will be extremely, extremely disadvantaged. From a fitness point of view, conditioning point of view, from just the planning part of it, where Jacques Dinaba would not have had enough time with the players that he wants. So again, South Africa find themselves between a rock and a hard place. Obviously they want to play in the Rugby Championship. Obviously they want to be part of some sort of rugby this year. But realistically, Percy, we'd be shooting ourselves in the foot if we do participate in it. And again, this is where you start weighing up, the reality of the game itself and wanting to be on the field, but also on the other side, the need for the money, because participating in the championship comes with the broadcast rights, the advertising and so on. So there's big money at stake as well, not just the bragging rights and the world champions coming out for the first time.
Well, Vata, I'm going to have to leave it there. Insightful thoughts there from your side. Nandi, as you can hear, it's the big news out of the southern hemisphere there from Australia. Obviously, the Rugby Championship happening later this year. We'll have some more thoughts here from Loftus Versveld. Later we'll speak to Jake White, the new director of rugby here at the Blue Bulls Rugby Union. But for now, I'm passing the ball back to you in the studio, Nandi.
Thank you very much, Percival Young, out at Loftus Versveld. We will, of course, be chatting to him again a little bit later.